With Terence Crawford taking up the rematch with Errol Spence, that means Keith Thurman won't get his chance, but he thinks that Terence is ducking a fight with him. Terence has made it clear that he's not a fan of Keith Thurman, and he's even gone as far as to call him irrelevant. Terence stated, "Listen, everybody knows that Keith Thurman is just talking. You've got to understand, Keith Thurman is the same guy who said I'm not a real welterweight. Keith Thurman is the same guy who said I haven't proven myself at welterweight. Keith Thurman is the same guy who has expressed that he's not interested in fighting Terence Crawford. Now, all of a sudden, out of the blue, he's fiending to fight Terence Crawford. Okay, when you're not relevant, you've got to take shots at the guys who are relevant. We don't believe you, Keith." Originally, though, Keith seemed pretty hyped for the first fight between Terence Crawford and Errol Spence.
We had this big fight earlier this year with a lot of similar hype, but it wasn't of this caliber. And I'm talking about Tank Davis versus Ryan Garcia, okay? It was not this caliber. It was nowhere in the ballpark of this caliber. And it showed. Tank showed. He outclassed his opponent. With all the hype, all this and that, yes, it sold. Yes, they did their thing. But when it comes to boxing at its purest, at its finest, at the highest level, I mean, we're talking about 24 karat gold. There is no filler. This is not some 10 karat. There is no filler. You don't even get 24 karat in the States, baby. You got to go overseas to pick that stuff up. But we're giving you the purest of the pure. And that's what I love about it.
Even after the fight, Keith managed to show some love for Terence while calling him out. Keith stated, "What's up, bud? What's good, son? Come on, G, great performance. Salute, salute, salute. 3 times for you, man. All the belts, greatness, what you do is great. But you know, this is your man Thurman, bro. You know we go back. You know we go way back, boy. And I promise you, son, my face, it won't look like Spence's. Why, Keith? Why? Because my feet ain't flat. You know I can stick and move, boy. You know I can double pump fake just like you. Come on, boy. This thing is different. Thurman is different. Been different, boy. Let's go. I'm proud of you, boy. But one thing you ain't seen in this life yet, and that's your man right here, Keith One-Time Thurman. Talk to Al Heyman. Send the contract. It's time to eat. I'm hungry, baby. I'm hungry, baby. It's time to eat. I'm in the gym working for you. Let's go, bud. Let's go, champ. Let's go." Keith was definitely ready to watch Terence perform his best in his fight against Spence.
Like Crawford style, the fact that he has more angles, he has more diversity, and that might play to his benefit. He might find something. That others haven't found on Spence, with being able to attack from so many different angles, being ambidextrous, and just very talented at both sides, you know. But Spence, he's that weird, like, it doesn't matter if it's super impressive, it's fundamentally sound and it's effective. That's the thing that I give him credit for, is he's fundamentally sound and he's effective. W after W after W. And he is the bigger man. He is a true welterweight. And so, you know, we've seen him post up with the jab. We've seen him conduct so much of the fight his way.
When Keith broke down the fight, he believed that Crawford was just the better man, and he said that Spence was slow. Keith stated, "The best man did his thing, man. Crawford, I knew he was crafty. I told everyone he was crafty. He got a new nickname, Crafty Crawford. He showed all that craftsmanship here tonight. The speed was too much. At 140 moving up, it happened to me and Pacquiao in 2019. Those little guys, when they move up, they bring all that speed, and Spence was just a little slow. I thought he was a little slow against Danny Garcia in 2020. That's why he didn't stop Danny. He stopped Jordina Sugas in 2022, but I thought he was a little slow." Keith definitely thinks that he's a step above the competition at 147, though.
There's a number of people who would love to see Keith Thurman in boots, those type of guys. But you told me before we started, you got a message for these younger up-and-coming fighters at 147? What's that message?
Man, Keith one-time Thurman is not the gatekeeper, okay? And if you want to act like I'm a gatekeeper, then you need to understand that that gate is welded shut, boy. And I will school you just like I schooled Mario Barrios. I'm not those past opponents. I'm a veteran. I'm a fine wine. You can only get me at certain high-level restaurants, baby. This is not McDonald's, but you can still have it your way. If I see a contract, I'll sign the dotted line.
I love it. You must have had a Red Bull before we did this.
Apparently, Keith was ready to go before the Crawford versus Spence fight finally materialized. Keith stated there was no reason for extra hesitation, but if they were going to keep clashing and not come up with a deal, Thurman would have popped right in because I'm not hard to negotiate with. I'm a former champion, not a current champion. I know my place in the sport. You get this percentage, I get that percentage, and we throw hands. So I think this was just something that happened. Two big egos collide, respectfully, at the highest level, the highest degree of boxing, and it just took a little bit of time, political issues and things. Tim Bradley actually wants Keith Thurman to fight Jaron Ennis, so Jaron can get experience before fighting Crawford. Tim stated, I would hate for him to get in a fight with Crawford and look average. Boots is a spectacular fighter. I'm a fan of Boots. I think he's next, but needs to be tested with a legit fighter. He needs to be tested by a guy like Thurman. I wish Sean Porter was still around. He needs to be tested by a guy like Sean Porter, a Danny Garcia. Veterans, top veterans out there that can punch, guys that can think with him. He needs to be tested by guys like that before I say, oh yeah, he's ready for Crawford. Oh yeah, he's ready for Crawford. Keith actually said that he'd be open to fighting Jaron Ennis if he didn't get a fight against Terence. Keith stated, of course I'll entertain a fight with him, if that's the contract that comes in my face and we can't get a champion. In fact, Keith talked about a few other options that he was looking at.
I'm in preparation right now. So there are many opportunities. You know, I'm willing to move up to 54. I'm willing to stay committed to 47. I mean, it's just a fight, you know. So I believe that for whatever reason, you know, Ugas went other places. I've said yes to fights already in the year. You know, these fights that I've said yes in, they just didn't get locked in. So we're gonna have to figure it out. Like I've been telling people, like I told Ennis's family, cousin, whoever was out there and trying to get up in my face, you know, like I told him, I said, look, send me the contract, show me how I'm gonna feed my family, and show me who needs to get punched in the face. And if that name says Boots Ennis, fine, baby. You know?
According to Bernie Davis, Keith Thurman was definitely a possibility if the rematch with Spence wasn't set. Bernie stated, I ain't going to say that he's going to leave 147 behind because I know he can make the weight, but it's like where we're at right now. We should have already been there at 154. If I'm Crawford, then I'm fighting Keith Thurman. If the Errol Spence rematch doesn't happen, then I'm fighting Keith Thurman. And if I'm not fighting Keith Thurman, then I'm fighting Jermell Charlo. Keith is definitely tired of all the doubting and talking, though.
I'm tired of all this opinionated BS, right?
Yeah.
I don't care. I don't care about your opinion. I'm a two-time world champion, right? I'm one of, if not the most exciting welterweight in the welterweight division today. So rank me how you please. I don't care. I'm not here for the rankings. I'm here for the sport. I was born and raised in the sport of boxing, okay? We used to do it for a medal. I used to do it for a trophy. I used to do it just to make my mama and my daddy proud. I'm here to the day I retire. I don't care about nothing else, man. I love what boxing brought into my life, and I love what I'm able to bring into the sport of boxing. And that's why, and that's all Keith Thurman's about. From this point on, I always said, I'm not afraid to let it go. If you can beat me, beat me. Yeah. I've been beaten one time. Is one time going to get beaten 2 times? Will he ever be beaten 3 times? I don't know. I'm here. I'm willing to find out.
Apparently, at one point, there were negotiations going on for a fight between Keith Thurman and Terence Crawford. But Bob Arum said that Keith asked for $10 million to make the fight. According to Keith, Bob is simply lying. Keith stated, false lies. Bob Arum is a notorious liar, and how do I know? Because I never asked for anything, okay? We don't put a number out in negotiation. You see what number they bring to you on the table, and his number was, I should have said 10 million because his number was so low. I gotta bring it up somehow. You know what I mean? I should have said 20 million just to piss him off, But we don't say numbers. We don't like to say numbers. Terence tried to say that Keith and Danny Garcia didn't have a chance in fighting him, and he stated, my, how the tables have turned. Danny Garcia and Keith Thurman will never, and I mean never, get a shot at the top dog, and that's me. Y'all didn't make no smoke when I wanted to fight, remember? Now y'all want to fight so bad. Go keep fighting each other like before. Y'all created the whole term, he on the wrong side of the street. When in boxing, have you ever heard some like that until I moved up? Did me dirty. Had all these people that don't know anything about boxing try to discredit my accomplishments. He hasn't fought anybody. Lies. But no one wanted to be that so-called somebody, though. They say the cream always rises to the top, and it looks like I'm the last man standing. I know y'all mad about it, but it's not my plan, it's God's plan. Keith really wasn't too happy with Terence's recent comments, and he stated, I ain't mad about it. I don't know if Danny said anything to spark that. A few things. You didn't beat up a champion. A lot of people know. Thurman against that Spence, the same scenario. We could have fought in October, but you fought some nobody. Were things political when you were over there with top-ranked promoter Bob Arum? Yeah. Are you king of the hill now? Yeah. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe and check out some of our other videos on the screen right now.